absorb the universe.
Well, Buckin has trusted me with his camera.
So what have we got? So this is interesting. This is an 044, which, being a Husky guy and being around this game a long time, I know for a fact that this is one of Still's best offerings ever. It's actually similar to its counterpart, the 372 Husqvarna. I would have to say. How many cc's is this power saw? I don't know. Is it 70? 72, somewhere there? I don't know. People in the comments will let us know. But I know that this saw's been ridden hard.
Hard, baby. I've dang near been killed a couple times using that saw, and that saw has dang near been killed a couple times when I've used it.
You love this saw, don't you?
I love that saw. It's a little hard to start, always has been, but
Yeah.
once she's running,
Yeah.
it's ready to work.
Yeah. Well, that's, Still dogs, for you still guys out there, you young fellas or whatever, we all like to dress our hot rods up and put neat little fancy dancy things on them, and that's fun. And I get it, and I do it myself with pipes. But I'm going to tell you something. These Still dogs, you don't need to do anything else. They're a lovely sized dog. It keeps your bar length in order. On a bigger diameter tree. These big long dogs that you see out there, there's a couple different companies that do it. They're great, and they do have their handy purposes. But for a hardwood setting, I see a lot of these fellas in the hardwoods, which is a thin bark tree. They've got these ginormous dogs on them, and you're losing bar length. Just know that these are a very good design stock. They really are, from what I've experienced.
Flip that over, Buck, and look at the other dog. You'll see it's been broke. I think that's the one I welded. One of them, the abuse finally stacked up.
You must have just throw your power. You see this fad, and I'm going to try and be nice here.
I should never have mentioned this. Go ahead, Buckin.
You opened the can.
I did.
I've seen it for years on the internet. I don't know where it come from, but this thing of these guys just, after they cut some tree down with the three-handed faller, two to cut the tree down and one to tap themselves on the back while they watch their work. I'm getting goofy. I'm just kidding. But this ramming your dogs into the log after you'll see guys literally, and I know it's just the internet, but they'll cut the tree down and then they'll walk away from the stump and they'll literally go like this, whoof, boom. And did you know that these dogs are mounted to your oil bucket? Everything's mounted to your oil bucket, and your studs, and it's just not a good thing. You might think you're looking cool, but I'll be honest, and this might hurt.
I can take it.
You look stupid. you do, and I know that's a rough word, but
Let me jump in here. So when I was up on his island last year, and he took me out onto the stump just a little bit, and I used a couple of his jacked up saws, and they are jacked up. Boy, do they throw a stream of chips.
Keep talking.
All right. And when it was all done and we were back to his shop, he kind of carefully, he said, there's something I've got to take you to task on. I thought, well, there's probably a list. And then he persecuted me for making sure the saw doesn't fall off the log by dogging the corner of the saw into the bark. And, but I have to acknowledge he's probably right, but I can't break the habit.
So you see what I've done there. I've hit 5.
Yes.
So you got this little thing, and if you want to get back, you just pop and it brings you closer in.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it.
So friends, listen. I'm just telling you. When I first knocked an undercut out with a set of dogs, I was fighting me. All I had to do was pull my axe out and smack the undercut out, and I rammed him like this is 20 years ago, friends. 20 years ago when I got hooked up with the claw, my mentor, and I was trying to ram the thing. And he was over there looking at me, and he never said much. The old claw, he never said much at all. He just went, and he kind of walked away, and his eyebrows kind of did something funky. And on the way down the hill, 4 or 5 hours later, we're eating our lunch, we're driving down the hill, and I says, you were looking at me goofy there. What was that all about? He goes, don't do that. Don't, you're going to wreck your saws. You're going to see oil pouring out of them in the shop. You're going to wake up in the morning. You're going to just knock that off. Just like that. And I changed my habit real quick.
And you're spreading the gospel of it too, aren't you?
Well, I am. I really am, and I'm going to start speaking up a little more because as much as whatever, there's very qualified followers that do it, and it's Instagram and it's cool and that's not. I get it, I understand, but to the young guy getting into a saw, you're not looking cool. You're not looking cool.
I didn't like having to weld my dog back together.
Well, so if you want to know a way, can we use that?
Like you own it, Buckin.
So listen. If you gotta go somewhere, let's be honest. You're in a task. I've probably screwed this thing here now. Is it on?
I don't know. See if
So
it'll start.
it's a still, right?
Yes, it is. You see? You see?
Lovely. Once it's going, it's going. So you cut a tree down, you buck a log. You gotta go talk to the bull bucker or the something, and you're trying to. Come in on that. See that little sucker right? Oopsie daisy. See that chain there? So it almost sounds like to me could be a slight clutch issue, but tighten up the chain and that'll probably go away. That's better. They never go anywhere. It's designed tight. This is better, Scott.
Yeah,
Better.
looks good.
Okay, so you cut your log and somebody says, hey, Reek, I need to talk to you. So you shut your saw off and you go, right? Well, some guys go, right? How about this? Now here's something very important. Listen to what I'm saying. You've got to be, the saw's got to be on the right angle to do this. If you go ahead, we're good because it's a long bar for one thing, but if you got a shorter bar, the power head's going to be heavy, so you kind of want to be in this kind of an angle when you do that. This might not work with you. That might not work. It might rattle out and fall down. Don't put it on an angle. What was that? So was I screwing up there or something? You need to talk to me about something?
You did great. Keep it up. You can jam it in a little harder and please me better, but you did pretty good.
See what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, be nice to your equipment because just ramming the dogs in, I fell with I'm trying to be nice here. Knock it off. Real quick. Can I make another cut?
Let's save the rest of that.
Let's save it. Okay. So now you hear the saw? Nice low idle, maybe a tad too low now she's warmed up. It's lovely. So we'll save that. So keep the RPMs up, friends. Just dogging in and hard up. Nice chain on there. Let the saw work for you. Mind if I cut that oak?
Let's cut that oak to pieces. Oregon white oak.
What I'm going to show you right now. You don't need to do that. Your turn.
My turn. Yeah. So something that shows up when you're cutting a dirty old chunk, something that's been yarded out and it's a dusty landing or it's a muddy day, and you've got to shorten it, and you're going to wreck your chain. I showed this on a video of bucking up some other oak logs, but I start into the dirt for just a second. And now I'm not in the dirt anymore if I pull the dirt off. So you cut with the bottom of the chain on a muddy log. The dirt off the back.
Very good point.
And you're coming up from the bottom so you don't get pinched with the weight.
I love it.
But if you pay attention to whether you're pulling the dirt through your cut or throwing it off the back,
it's a very good point, Scott.
You're not going to have to touch up quite so often.
It's very true. And what Scott was doing, friends, because you can see what he's into here, he knows if he was going to cut straight through the top of the log, he was going to get pinched. So the point he was making was great with getting in there. Exactly. So there's another buck there, Scott. You want to just make another couple pieces? Or yeah. A saw. He knows the game. This is what I like about this guy. One of the things I like about this guy. There he is there. That's glorious. Everybody gets fixated that I have to cut all the way through the log. You don't have to cut all the way through the log. Take every measure in the world to stay out of the dirt.
Give yourself every advantage.
Exactly.
Both in terms of how. So this is one of the things that pleased me so much when I got acquainted with Buckin on the channel. Stand up and buck.
Yeah.
And you've heard it from him, I don't know how many times, but it bears repeating. Now this bar's a little much for an 044.
But it is handling it.
It handles it good, and it comes into your hand like it's ready to work. The tip's down there where you want it. It's not sticking up here like this, where you have to pull it down to the job, and you get a little, I like it.
Yeah, you're totally correct, Scott. I'm so glad I'm not alone on this.
Yeah, no. And people say, well, it's heavy. Well, work is hard, but it's not as heavy as bending over and holding up half your body weight with your back as the saw pulls itself through the wood, is it? And the thing is, now this will probably roll over and break my leg.
What a massive point that is you just made, though.
If you're coming down a log that you just put on the ground and you're limbing it, you can limb both sides of the log without shifting anything except the tip of the saw.
That's right.
And I love it. And
Yeah.
I love meeting someone who's done so much more of it than I have and can still stand to point out the points that a guy needs to learn. But I still probably am going to slam it into the wood, Buckin, you know what I mean?
But you know what? At least you've got the humility, Scott. And this I say, I don't care you've been on the job 2 weeks or 20 years. We can all learn from one another.
That's right.
I've learned some stuff on YouTube from people like, Buckin, why don't you try this? I'm like, I'm going to add that into my game.
That's right.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's right. And a guy learns and remembers best from a negative example.
This is
You
true.
see somebody doing something plain wrong, or they do something plain wrong to you.
Yes.
That you don't forget.
Yeah.
But you may not pick up on the good things they're doing unless you pay attention. For instance, I've seen Buckin stand there with his tip on the ground. So what? And I've seen comments on other channels. Oh my gosh, keep your chain out of the dirt. The chain's not moving.
Yeah.
There's not a dime's worth of difference as far as the wear on the chain between putting it on my toe or putting it on a clump of grass. It just doesn't matter.
And this is where sawmanship comes in. And a lot of fellas, they don't have it, but it's good to show folks.
Sure is.
It's good to show all these people stuff like that. Wasn't that a nice ginger little touch in the log there?
Can be taught.
Look at this man.
I learn, I just don't learn fast.
That's right. No, me and this man, we have a lot of similar he's logged for many years with his dad, and when I saw Scott on his channel, of course, running a saw, I was like, this feller's done this before. And he's from Oregon. Our timber is very similar. But you know what's very interesting here to me, friends? Is white oak grows in the natural forest in here. Is white oak considered something a little touchier to what are those? Now listen, let's shift gears.
Yeah, okay, all right, gear shifted.
I want to shift gears now. Friends, I'm just going over some comments on the live feed yesterday. I did my live feed yesterday down at my dad's house, friends. And thanks to the new members. Friends, I got to be honest, I haven't done a dedicated video to our memberships that are now available on this channel. But if you are interested in more than the regular channel, like behind the scenes kind of spontaneous stuff that has no editing, just kind of, that's what memberships is for. The perks are wonderful. People are having a good time over there. It's a growing little community. And I want to do it service by saying that it is available now. Memberships are. There's a join link. You'll see the button that says join right under most of my videos there. I think YouTube does that for you. They just put it in there. So I haven't done a big video and talked about the perks and stuff like that, but I know that my members can speak for me, and the members are the folks with the stars on their names in the comment section. You'll see them there, and they can fill you in on what's going on down there. But we are having a blast, and we always have a blast here. So thank you all so much for watching. My dad goes to the doctor on Wednesday. He has waited this out. This has been a long wait for him, friends. We went to Emerge. I remember talking to you guys about that. Took him to emergency, and there's really not much they can do. They've got his blood, they've got his urine, they've got things moving. So it just doesn't happen as fast as we want it to happen, I guess, because he's in no pain at all. He has no pain. He's just beat down. he's beat down and he's lost 30 pounds and he's a little bit concerned, and so are we. So, but thank you for all your nice thoughts and light and love for my dad, and reciprocation right back to you. I hope you're doing well and your family's healthy. So on that note, I'm going to go down there. Actually, I'm going to check his mail. He gave me his mail key. So life changes fast, friends. I'll see you in the next video. Work hard, be honest, be kind. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for being here.